Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a video today, just kind of going over the four brands and magazines that I like to run, that I've done my own research on and just found that these are the ones that I prefer and the ones that I just see a lot of people running in their guns. Just the pros and cons of each, why I picked what I picked, and just things for you to consider maybe if you're looking at getting some more mags or going through your inventory mags and what you might want to change. Um, so for the four brands I have in front of us here, we got the Brownells over here on the left in the gray, DURAMAG in the black. These are the OKAYSUREFEED magazines. And then I have a Magpul Gen 2 and the Gen 3 all the way on the right. Right out of the box, or just out of the gate here, the main differences that you're going to see are obviously these are going to be a polymer, and these two are going to be aluminum, and then the Duramag is going to be a stainless steel body. As far as I guess initially like weights go, right? The Brownells is going to be an aluminum at 4.0 ounces. The Duramag is going to be our heaviest mag. The stainless steel is going to come in at 5.9 ounces. The OKAYSUREFEED is also 4.0 ounces. The Gen 2's Magpul is a 4.8 ounce magazine, and the Gen 3's are a 5.0 ounce magazine. You know, they always say like ounces equal pounds. Not huge differences in them. You know, obviously this guy does get a little bit heavier, but you know, that's just a few ounces, you know, a couple ounces or a ounce in difference. Nothing big, but just so you kind of know what they're coming in at. All of them except the Duramag are going to use a stainless steel spring. The Duramag actually uses it's a chrome lined, or a chrome, I don't know, they call it a chrome spring is what they said in their description of it. I don't know, technically that's not mil-spec. The stainless steel springs in the other four is mil-spec. So now that's not at all to say that mil-spec is, you know, the way to go, because we're going to go over another mag that I got sitting here as to why mil-spec is not always the best thing. But I don't know, as far as the reliability of that or the longevity of it, how well that, if it's proven to hold up longer or better. You know, so something different there. They use a chrome plated spring as compared to a stainless steel on the rest. So just to look at the Brownells, right? Like I said, aluminum body, stainless steel spring, and they actually use a Magpul anti-tilt follower. So you can see on here, right? This is something I'm going to point out on all these. They got this little tab. That's going to help with some of the anti-tilt, right? So as you're feeding, it's not going to bind up. And these actually do feed or slide quite well. They'll say, you know, like with these, all these polymer type ones, they're going to say like they're self-lubricating. But I've ran these for, I think, 2 years now, and I haven't had any issue with it. Like I said, Brownells. These guys actually had a military contract for a while where they were providing springs for the military. I do know that, you know, there's a certain level, if you do get a military contract, a person can argue that, well, there's a certain level of quality there. Again, no, that doesn't mean anything either, because you know, we've seen a lot of stuff that the military does that is stupid and shouldn't have made that decision. But I've ran these for a while. I've liked them. The Duramag, I've had these for about a year. So far, haven't had any issues with them. Like I said, stainless steel. Something you'll notice too, from the stainless steel to the aluminum here, if I can show it, you can see the thickness of the material between the two is quite a bit different. Obviously, again, this is an aluminum, so they're gonna probably add a little more material there, because if it was that thin, it'd be like a pop can and probably wouldn't survive very well. But you know, again, kind of that help with the anti-tilt. Now, and I don't know if this is the chrome or because they're running their own MAG follower here, but when you do feed this, it's not as smooth of a slide when this is running. So again, I don't know if it's from the spring itself or from the follower. Hard to say there. But that's the DURAMAG. Right, there's the logo. OKAYSUREFEED. This is the one that you see like kind of ranting about. And I've seen a bunch of other people run it. Like if you're looking on pictures on Instagram of what guys are running, it seems like a lot of them run this. They got a new one. I forget the name of it, but it's got little dimples on there just for a little extra texture for grabbing. But I got these because they were $1 cheaper, and I was used to running these two. So I've only had these for I think a month here. I've just been running them, but I've liked them. This looks like it's probably a Magpul follower as well. They don't actually state it, but you can see that they look pretty darn similar, pretty much identical. Like I said, with it being aluminum on the back there, these look about the same thickness, and these do slide really well. So I have liked these. But overall construction of these metal or aluminum ones look to be pretty darn similar. Feed lips and everything are pretty darn close to the same, right? But yeah, so those are those three. But then we got the polymer ones. Magpul, obviously super popular. Gen 2s, I guess I never even saw or ran a Gen 1, so I can't speak to those. But the Gen 2, right, this is what they call it, kind of an enhanced follower from the original. Stainless steel. Technically, they have a stop on the front here for over insertion into your mag well, right? Now on the Gen 3s, they also did that, but they added a lip on the back as well to prevent from over insertion into your mag well. And they actually changed a bit of stuff going into the Gen 3s. They enhanced the follower even more so. They just say an enhanced follower on the website. You know, it appears that they're still using the same spring. The butt plate seems to be changed up, obviously. Now the Gen 3s technically have a contract with the Marines for sure. I don't know if anyone else has adopted them yet, but again, when you get into some of the military stuff, either that's really awesome or we'll see how it goes down the road. But they have the contract with the Marines. They did change, like I said, they changed these up a bit because you can see some notches here, the butt plates, but these are supposed to be more accepted in a wider variety of platforms out there, as far as like the HKs, 416, and some of those other ones where they had issues with the Gen 2s, right? So these ones are supposed to be cleaned up. I've ran both. I haven't had any issues with the Gen 2s, but I like the Gen 3s just because they got a little more texture ribbing, and they have the ability to mark your mag so you can kind of keep track of it a little easier. But yeah, I guess overall, why I am choosing to run, you know, 4 different types of magazines here. Primarily, I live in Minnesota. The polymers are awesome. You know, like I said, Magpul's a very, very reliable brand. I haven't had any issues with them, but polymer doesn't do well in the cold. Specifically, if it's freezing, you hear about people, these busting, you know, not even if it's not in the cold, they hit the ground, concrete, rock, whatever, and the tabs will break. The aluminum or the steel, these are going to more than likely bend. Kind of like in a SHTF situation, you know, worst case scenario, those bend, you can bend it back, keep it going. You know, you'll hear where they'll start to fail, where these tabs will bend out and it won't hold the mags in. If you really had to, you could keep them going, bend them back. Obviously, if this breaks, it's done. You gotta chuck it. So I kind of mixed up my variety a little bit, just so that from a reliability standpoint, I could keep all three, have different options. But these three, even in the, you know, dead of winter, I don't have to worry about, you know, like anything shattering, breaking in that sense. But I just like to have a mixed variety for obviously different reasons. Kind of going back to that mil-spec thing. So obviously there's different brands out there. There's Mag, Lancers, and Mag. I don't have a whole lot of experience with the Mag, none with the Lancers, and none at all with Mag. I used to work at a Cabela's in the Illinois area or Chicago area, and we would have individuals come through looking for the extended magazines in the Mag brand, or just extended magazines in general. And we're like, well, we have these Mags, and they're like, nah, I won't even touch it. And yeah, I've just always felt like that kind of spoke volumes. If a certain group of people wouldn't even touch a Mag brand for an extended magazine, it probably means they're pretty poopy. But the big thing that I recommend, because I know DURAMAG makes aluminum magazines as well, but watch your followers. This is a black follower as compared to like the Magpuls or this orange one, but this doesn't really have some of the anti-tilt features in there, and you can see that out of the gate. So like if I'm pushing down here in the front, this, when I push down in just the front, the whole magazine slides down. If I do that with the black, it doesn't slide down, it just tips, and it can actually bind up. Now, likelihood of that isn't super high, but that is a concern, right? So definitely something to watch. I know you can get, Magpul makes them where you can swap out those feed feed ramps and stuff, or the followers. I would definitely encourage that, swapping them out. I got this little 20 rounder just as like an aesthetic for a different gun that I have, kind of a DMR, but also just so that when I'm shooting at different distances, 20 round mag allows me to camp my rifle up so I can get out to distance as compared to a 30. But big thing there, like I said, really watch these black followers, because you can see where that can get stuck and you can have feeding issues. So definitely recommend looking into that. Watch for that when you're out purchasing a new mag. Other than that, have a good one.